Leonie Cahill Kraut. I serve on the board of the Rockwood Park Preservation Society, and come September 18th, the Rockwood Park Preservation Society will be hosting a virtual and live event that celebrates the suffragettes, as well as social lights and all of the social change as our emerging nation came through the industrialization and became a global power. We are here today in the conservatory, and I have County Councilman John Cartier with us to share with us his personal experiences and stories that will be added to our event series. So welcome.
Thank you for inviting me, and I'm really pleased to be here in one of my favorite places in the 8th District, the Conservatory at Rockwood.
Yes, the whole museum is in your district.
Correct.
It's a really fascinating district because and you're the perfect leader for it.
Thank you.
You are a history lover,
Yes.
a nature lover.
Yes.
So describe to us the 8th District.
Yeah, and it's true. This part of Brandywine 100, and people should recognize that the 100 concept is a colonial era concept of where they laid out areas for taxation. And Brandywine 100 still retains that identity in the Piedmont. Mm-hmm. We're in the Piedmont area of Newcastle County. And the whole area of the 8th District really is defined by pretty much the Philadelphia Pike Corridor, which is an old colonial highway. It was called the King's Highway. It was the main connection from Wilmington to Philadelphia, and many persons of importance during the Revolutionary War period and going through the Industrial Revolution period transited the Philadelphia Pike. But it's a very mature suburban area. I think it's very atypical of suburbia in Newcastle County because it is so old. Mm-hmm. And we have many examples in the corridor, in the vicinity, like Rockwood, of really magnificent historical buildings. I mean, truly, we are a treasure trove of all kinds of periods, architecture, from colonial period through the mid-19th century, like Rockwood is, and into the early 20th century suburban bungalows and four-square buildings, and it's all here, chock-a-block, and it really is, you could spend a lifetime cataloging all the architecture and the aesthetic and the history of the area. And I've spent a long time doing that. I'm 17 years now as a county councilman, and I do revel in it, and I celebrate it as much as I can, and I'm glad to be here with you today about that.
So in the 8th District, amongst all of the 200 years of fine architecture, you also have a lot of mixed use and industrial pockets throughout. And as we had discussed earlier, industrialization and the effects of industrialization is something that everybody has to deal with. Mm. So how does the 8th District deal with some of the environmental impacts or ecological impacts of those turn of the century industrialization?
You know, Leonie, this is a very critical issue for the communities of the Eastern Brandywine 100, the 8th District. You know, we are now in a transition period where we were defined by really, truly heavy industrial kinds of areas of development. We had one in Edgemoor along the river, and you go up into Claymont along the river there, where these areas provided a lot of employment. We had Delaware's only steel mill, the Claymont Steel Mill, which functioned for 100 years, making fundamental product for infrastructure like road, bridges, and these kind of things. And now, with globalization and changes in our economy, these industries have closed and are no longer there. Mm-hmm. So we are in a process of reinventing our communities. Now, this is not the first time that we've done this. This is probably a third iteration of these communities, over 300 years of human settlement here. Of course, you know, the Lenape Indians were here first, and the colonial era is about a 300-year settlement period all the way to the present. So with this era of transitioning from industrialization, we've got multiple sites, many brownfields, and we're in the process, if you look at the Claymont Steel Mill site, there is a process of redeveloping that, and you know, it involves a tremendous amount of environmental remediation. But the thing that I've always said to decision makers in the county government and the state, this process of reinvention and reuse and redevelopment is fundamental, because if we can take these old areas and reinvent them, it takes a lot of pressure off areas of the county, in our farmland area and all that, which is, you know, we need to continue to maintain our farmland as much as possible. So, you know, we wouldn't need investors to come and join us and reinvent and redevelop and recover these, you know, brownfield sites that offer tremendous possibilities for the future.
Well, readaptive use is also an excellent way of doing that environmental assessment and cleaning it up instead of just leaving it behind.
Yes.
As sort of just that byproduct of turn of the century industrialization. And
I think the worst thing we could do is just to put an anchor chain link fence around these types of sites and just leave them.
Exactly.
And we need to clean them up and figure out new uses that are in sync with the 21st century trends in our economy, provide local employment, new amenities. In fact, I'm working on a project, a very exciting project right now, to create a 100-acre riverfront park in the Claymont Steel site, hopefully with the marina facility and other amenities. So not only can we get investment that generates job opportunities, new housing, but new public park amenities that I think people will enjoy for another 100 years.
And public transit?
And that's another good point. We have a new train station on development. Claymont always had a very strong component of this community that we're commuting by rail, and that Claymont's train station, it's a SEPTA stop that has over 350,000 riders a year. Now we're in the process with our state and federal partners to create a new commuter rail, state-of-the-art commuter rail station, you know, that's accessible to everybody, that will, I think, create a tremendous you know, interest and allow for even a greater expansion of commuter rail in the area. So that's going on the steel mill site as part of that reinvention of that site.
So how can your constituents help you advance your initiatives? Is it through Claymont Renaissance, or are there specific things that you think that your constituents can help?
Well, I would say I'm really blessed. This council district has a tradition and a ethic and a culture of community participation. So over the years, I have gained my strength and representation by working closely with our partner organizations in the area that of citizens are interested in various issues. So for instance, here with Rockwood, we have, as you know, the RPPS, the Rockwood Park Preservation Society. I work very closely with them. So my style of leadership and the culture that I bring to the role of representation is the culture of this area, where they work closely with their elected officials. So when I go into a room, I'm not the councilman, I'm their friend, I'm John. I'm the guy they go to get results. And I get a lot of energy out of that, and that's how we make progress in the 8th District. So it really is, I think, very unique throughout New Castle County. In fact, we have 4 tiny municipalities. I don't know, people don't even understand that. Bellefonte, which is a fantastic area, it is a charter municipality. It's celebrated 100 years of existence. And we also have the Arden Villages. Each one of them is a charter municipality. So we have a lot of, you know, municipal self-governance, you know, community organizations. It really is very, fascinating place and with a lot of great potential because of the active citizenry we have here.
Well, I thank you so much for
Yeah.
joining us and providing your input on the exhibit that specifically talks about some of the fashion trends at the turn of the century and its impact on the ecosystem. And I love that Councilman Cartier was here today to share some of those historic facts and how that impacts us on contemporary issues that we face today. So I hope you will follow us on Facebook. Tickets will go on sale in the second week of July.